Good afternoon. High noon Pacific here. This is ALPOUGH, who's an adult of his spirit, his mind, his thought, his body, his love, and I give it out to you today. Welcome. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. This is Hump Day, and here we are. Let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about fear is a weapon. Have you noticed everything in the media? Everything around us, the pandemic, everything. What's this cause? What's what we call the root cause? I just love it. We're going to get to the root causes. We're going to get to the root cause. Well, we're going to get to the root cause of fear. And everyone has their own definition of what it is. And I'm going to give you what mine is according to what my experience is. Now, here we are. How do you see fear? Where are we at here? Do you see the mouse and the mouse scares you? You see how all of us kind of know probably maybe what it is that we fear the most. And okay, so when I say that fear is a weapon, of course, it's number 151. Thank you for all those support. Now, some say fear is good. All right. You hear it in the Bible. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Okay. Now, some say fear is a waste. Now, I'm actually one of those. I think that fear is a waste because, number one, it's a useless emotion. Okay. So if it's a useless emotion and you're in fear, why would you want to be scared all the time? Right? So if you're in a state of scaredness, you're in a state of fear, then this very fear is what's going to possibly disable you. So fear zaps your energy. It zaps it. Have you ever been scared? Have you ever been disabled in fear? It zaps your energy. And it takes you, what? Out of the moment. So for me, I'm here to question everything. And if you see the sign here, you'll see. Question everything in love. You see, fear disables the mind. So for me, I question everything. And I mean everything. If I wouldn't be of service to you, I would not be what I would call a good son for Sophia if I didn't question everything. And of course, that is her challenge with me, is to question everything. So let's go with what fear. Fear, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. Okay. Now, also be afraid of someone or something as likely to be dangerous, painful, or threatening. Afraid. Is afraid the same thing as fear? Feeling fear or anxiety, frightened. So to me, when we're looking at this, fear and afraid are the same. Another, worry that something undesirable will occur or be done. Now, what in the world are we in right now? We are always in a place where we're constantly be putting in a place of being afraid, of being in fear, which constantly puts you in disability. Worried that something undesirable will occur or be done. Worried. Anxious or troubled about actual or potential problems. I think this is absolutely really one of the most important things that we should always consider every day now. Because if you can turn off the news, and you may have to, because it all right now is creating what? Anxiety. Everything is open. Everything is open. The borders are open. That's our front door. We have no idea who's coming through. We have no idea what's going to happen with the situation in Afghanistan, with over 10,000 Americans still there, and then allowing thousands and thousands of unregulated Afghanistans coming into our country. We have enough of them coming into the front door. If your front door of your house is your border, and if it's like ours, you should have your door open. Just leave it open, right? For anybody to come in. So this kind of fear will make you dirty your pants. That's exactly what's going on. Do you remember the first time when you actually dirtied your pants? You see, here we are, and put in a place of being anxious. Being anxious. Anxious. Experiencing worry. Again, the same. Unease. Nervousness affecting your body. When you're nervous, your body is disabled. The energy that it takes to be worried, to be in fear, to be anxious, to be afraid is disabling. Is that something that really people want? The powers that be. Is that how they want us? Is that the root cause of what this whole thing is about? So the root cause of all this, again, is coming down to not living in the moment. I have to laugh about things because sometimes my first reaction is laughing as opposed to getting fearful. It's a laughter. Laughter is semi-orgasmic of the body, mind, soul. Spirit loves to laugh, by the way. Now, I'll tell you one thing that at one time in my life that I was scared about. I was getting married. Hey, here's a good quote. Hey, want to go see that new movie with me? No, thanks. I'm afraid of ghosts. Can we see a chick flick instead? But I'm afraid of commitment. I would say that was part of me. Not now. Thank heavens I got over that. So the root cause causes us not living in the moment. And as I've said before, being in spiritual neutrality, which keeps us emotional less, fear less, afraid less. The most important thing for us is to not be afraid, is to face it head on. See what your surroundings are. Know what your surroundings are before. Now, what I want to do here is I want to end here by telling you a true story about me. And here. And this happened to me on May 4th, 2011, about 11:30 at night. I was living in Mexico. And there was a knock at a door or a yelling of someone that I knew who asked to come into the door. Now, I'd known these persons or people, there was 3 of them, who'd done some work around my house. I'm living in Mexico. We were living at a house in Mexico. And I was a little suspicious, but not that much because I've known them. They work for me. They'd come to my house for Thanksgiving and Christmas of the previous year. I knew their parents, their kids. And so I was still a little suspicious, and I let them in, and they said, well, I have a gift for you. I have a gift for me. Okay. All right, let's go into the shed here. I had this big compound here where we lived on. So there's a nice big shed. So I go walking in. When I turn on the right light, the light at the right of the doorway, I looked now remember, I'm living in the moment. I could see in my peripheral, he had a blue bag and he dropped it and a shotgun appeared. I turned immediately with my right arm, my right hand, turned, and because I was living in the moment, I went straight and grabbed the shotgun at the head of it. Okay. Now, at the time, it was just him and me, and we're getting ready to yell the words, he said, Mike, I'm going to take you out. By the time he said out, I had grabbed that shotgun with my right hand, and the grip on it was tight. Now I had 2 choices here. I could let this gun go, or he could have fired it, burning my hand. And at that moment, because I'm living in the moment, I decided I was going to take the burn because my life was in serious danger. Now, I'm very fortunate that at the time, I was in very good P90X shape. So again, preparing for the moment is what you're supposed to be. You get older, you need to be in better shape. I grabbed it, held on to it, and pushed him out of the door. What I didn't realize was that his brother had came from behind and was in the doorway. And before I could pull it out, he grabbed me. And we went into the courtyard with them beating me in my face. But I refused to let go of that shotgun because my life would have ended or could have ended. In this very moment here, there was no fear. Do you understand? I had no fear because I'm living in the moment of saving my life. We went and I pushed them about 15 feet. I'm pushing. I'm trying to actually make my way to my door of the house, but we didn't get there. And it just so happened that I was moving the next day and I pulled my truck back to the door. So we fell literally by my truck. With me holding on to that gun, with them beating my face. The next thing I see is someone coming behind the door. And I knew who it was. It was her cousin. It was a full moon that night. And I saw this shiny something reflecting, and I knew that it was a knife. When he saw me, he came right at me. He was going to stab me. I lifted my left leg up and I pushed him off. And I mean, got him. And he came back. And this time, when he came down, he almost fell on top of me. And I pushed him again. And he kind of fell. But then he got up and he was angry. And then he came down on me right by my heart. He came and was going to stab me in the heart. I got my arm up and he stabbed me in my arm. I'm still holding on. But then this is what happened. Inside, because I was living in the moment, I actually laughed to myself. I went, oh man, Mike, we got to get out of here or this is going to be over. That laugh, not fear, gave me energy. You see, if I would have gotten scared, it would have zapped my energy. Instead, I got a quick second win, and all of a sudden I pushed up and got into a squat, some kind of a squat, where I was able to try and move away from them. And what happened was I let go of the shotgun and kind of was trying to crawl, get to my truck. But one thing I did do, because I wasn't scared, you see, was I went and grabbed his brother. We were falling. Nicholas jumped up with the gun, but I grabbed his brother. and I wouldn't let go. And he pointed that shotgun at me, ladies and gentlemen. And he said, Miguel, move, move. And Miguel said, I can't. Next thing I know, I see, what's his name, Monty, coming around. And just as he was coming around, I let him go and sprinted back into the house. I had used my truck. Thank heavens it was there. It usually is parked on a head next to the wall. And I ran in. Doesn't get over here. I ran up the stairs. My roommate got scared and ran. That was who my business partner was at the time. He just ran. Left me alone. No help. Russ Gilmont. I ran up the stairs and I was fearing that they were going to run in from behind me. Now, when I turned around and looked down the stairs, I didn't see them for that moment. Remember, this is seconds going by. And I looked down and I saw my dog, Isabella, down at the bottom of the stairs, frozen, scared. And I knew they came in because they know, like everybody who knew me knows, Izzy is my baby. And the last thing I was going to let them do was take my dog. And instead of running away, I ran straight back down them stairs, knowing if they're there, you're not going to get my dog. But see, when I took that step down the stairs, I knew my life was in line now. I knew it. But you know what? Some things you're not afraid to die for. And I knew you ain't gonna get my dog. I turned into a warrior. I ran down them stairs looking right to my right, and fortunately, they didn't come in. Now, the whole time that they were attacking me, I was yelling, so I'm being robbed. I'm being robbed. Forgot to tell you that. I'm being robbed. Somebody's robbing. Please help me. Please call the police. All this whole time. Please call the police. I'm yelling it. So I go upstairs. I go back upstairs. We can see the patio over because we were right on the water. I looked out and they were running. They were running away. And I yelled to them, don't come back. The police are coming. The next thing I know, this security officer who was taking care of a hospital comes running out and said, I saw the whole thing. I've already called the police. The police are coming. And the Mexican police showed up in about a minute. Now, again, I don't want no scene here. So I just go out and tell them I'm okay. They say, hey, you got a big cut here. You need some stitches. I said, no, I want it as a remembrance. I'll just put some super glue on it. They took off going to look for them. Then about 15 minutes later, they come back. And now the way the police vehicles were, they're F-150s with the back open and the seats where they handcuff all the prisoners. So like 8 could fit in there, 6, whatever it is. And they just handcuff them. Well, the guy who tried to kill me with a knife was back there. Sure was. This is where it gets kind of funny, because I looked at him and said, I'm leaving the next day, and I still had people there, and I didn't want nothing to happen to him. So I said to him, they asked me, is this the guy? And I said, no, it's not him. Because you sure? I'm going, no. And I'm looking him right in the eye, because I want him to go, I know it's you. Don't come back. Well, then I go and stand behind him, and then I let him know, that's him. That's him. So they left. They left. And I asked the security guard, would he guard my house tonight in case they came back? And I offered him some money to stay. So now it's already late. It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock. I go to bed. I get up. I look straight out the window, and there's a security officer, and he yelled to me, Michael, there's nothing to worry about. They're gone. I go, what? They're gone. They're gone. So I go, oh, hey, let's go down and talk at the doorway. So he tells me, well, we took him and interrogated him and told him that you're going to jail for 15 years for pulling a shotgun on anyone. Attempted murder, 15 years. He said, but you know what? We'll do you a favor. Take us to get the other two, and you guys can split it. 5 years apiece. Yes or no? And he went and ratted on his other cousins. And they went to jail and were in jail for 5 years. Meanwhile, I was gone. So the moral of this story is fear takes away your energy. Fear disables you. Fear is not good. Being in spiritual neutrality keeps you from feeling those emotions. Now, some of you out there, it happens to you all the time. You still have to go through this process. But the beginning of it is first in saying, I have no fear. I have no fear. I'm in neutral. I'm saying this to you as you go. You see, yesterday I talked about day to day is the only way. We can't be tripping on what's going to happen a month from now. If you can live each day, you can live it fully and deal with tomorrow later. You'll have less fear, less anxiousness, less being afraid, and less worry. Simple. I want to wish you a great day. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for sticking with me. This is really, really important about us living day to day and not let fear becoming a weapon. Congratulations, you made it through. Your day should change. Your life should be better. You have to pass this on to people. Let them know what's real and what's not. This is where Mother wants us. We want us in reality. And reality does not need fear, anxiousness, worry, or being afraid. I love you. You hang in there. I'll be back tomorrow again with another show of ALPOUGH. Words to live by and be better. Sophia loves you, and so do I. Let's see what is that here. So grateful you did not let fear. I forgot I wanted to put this out. Well, yeah, baby, I wouldn't have met you. If I would have, I wouldn't be here right now. You see, I knew I'm going to go live my life. And by the way, I knew something great was going to happen to me because I cheated death. And so can you. One more point. I love you again.